Why does Pi always use live view when he shoots? And why does he talk about himself in the third person? Well, because that is one of the most frequently asked questions, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why I don't mind looking like a noob. My name is Pi, and I'm one of the founders of Lynn and Jersa Photography and SLRLounge.com. We're teaming up with Adorama to bring you a new series of photography tutorials called Master Your Craft right here on Adorama TV. So let's dive in. What's up, everybody? My name is Pi. Welcome back to Adorama TV. I'm so glad y'all are here, and in this video, we're talking specifically about live view. I want to give you guys a couple reasons, two reasons specifically as to when and why I like to use live view focusing, and kind of one situation where I really don't, and I prefer using the viewfinder. So let's go ahead and dive in. We'll start with number one. And if you guys have watched me in past videos in education, you'll see that when I'm shooting on my 5D4, I am very often using live view to shoot. The reason is, and this depends on the actual camera system, is on a camera like the 5D4, well, the 5D4 gave us a special focusing system when using live view. It's called dual pixel focusing. And what this means is essentially using a pixel-based focus that is very, very accurate. So on the back of the camera, I can tap whatever I want and it's going to snap to focus. And this makes it incredibly useful, particularly when we pair it with primes and we're shooting wide open. If I was using the viewfinder, well, I was getting a lot of front or back focus images where it'd just be a little bit off and the image wouldn't be tack sharp. But with that dual pixel or pixel-based focusing system, they're tack sharp regardless. And so my accuracy and the effectiveness of that focusing system became the number one reason I was always using live view, and I didn't really mind looking like that. Let's be honest, that's really the only downside to using live view is you look like you might as well be shooting with like your phone. You know what I mean? Like, you get me. But let me go ahead and give you just a quick demonstration of this. So Mike is recording right now, and I've actually paired the Sigma 105 1.4 on the 5D Mark IV, and I'm gonna shoot from live view. I'm gonna go ahead and have Anthony actually light Mike from behind the set, and I'm gonna take a picture of Mike. And we're just gonna get this, I'm gonna shoot this wide open at f1.4. We're gonna go 1/200 of a second and ISO 800. All right, Mike, kind of turn your chin to this side a little bit. There you go. And you know what? I'm going to bump this to 1600 ISO. There we go. Mike looks very disgruntled right now, which is okay. I understand. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, Mike. Makes complete sense. But what's great is if I zoom in, I can take as many pictures as I want. And even with a lens that's relatively hard to get a good solid focus wide open, using live view, I can sit here and pop shot after shot, and every one of these is going to be tack sharp. In fact, I can aim this at whatever I want, and the live view system will make sure the images are sharp because it's verifying the sharpness of pixels. It's not using necessarily like a cross type or mechanical type AF through the viewfinder. Now, this might be worth noting because in the future, this kind of technique might be past its usefulness, right? At least for that focusing reason, because on mirrorless systems, whether you're looking through the viewfinder or through the actual live view, it's all the same pixel-based focusing, okay? So it really comes down to the actual camera and lens combo that you're using. If you start noticing that, well, I'm getting a lot of front or back focus images when I'm shooting wide open, then try it. See if your live view has a pixel-based focusing system that gives you a little bit more accuracy or a lot more accuracy on a DSLR. Now, there's another reason that I like to use live view. So let's go to point number two, and that is verifying kind of the overall exposure, color, everything right there in that view. So honestly, whether I'm shooting through the viewfinder or shooting through live view, I'm always gonna start with live view. I'm gonna show my histogram, I'm gonna dial in all the compositional details that I want, from the exposure settings to the depth of field that I want, to my ISO, the overall brightness, the white balance, everything. I'm gonna look at my histogram and I'm gonna use that because why not, right? We have this all built into our cameras. Why not use what they're giving us? Because in the past, we used to use spot metering. We'd place it over the skin or over an area of the scene we wanted to expose for. We'd take a shot, take a look at it, make adjustments. We don't really have to do that anymore. With live view, we can do it all without ever taking a shot and just get right into shooting. So I'm always using live view to basically set up the look that I want. And then I'm gonna choose whether I want to use the viewfinder. And this brings us to point number 3. When do I actually shoot through the viewfinder? I'm gonna give you an example. This past week, I actually took the 1DX3 and did some jiu-jitsu images. We were doing some sports and kind of athletic shots. And whenever I'm shooting journalism, I'm usually pairing this combination with a 24-70 or 70-200. These are fast focusing lenses that are really almost always accurate through the viewfinder. And on top of that, the 1DX3 has such an advanced focusing system that even when I pair it with primes, it does a fantastic job through the viewfinder. So if I'm shooting in fast-paced environments, I love to actually look through the viewfinder because I find it to be much more accurate and efficient when it comes to setting up my compositions. I prefer this method of shooting at speed. I prefer it almost always. The only reason I use live view is because it's more convenient in some cases in just making sure I don't have to shoot a ton of images. Each of those images are gonna be sharp and so forth. But in fast-paced environments, or especially with camera bodies that really have solid focusing systems, I love using the viewfinder. Okay, so to sum this all up, I would say this: know your gear. Whether you should shoot through live view or through the viewfinder simply for focus is going to depend on the gear combination that you're using, the specific camera that you have along with the lenses that you're using. Number 2, I'm always going to use live view to set up my shot, okay? But that's just a matter of convenience, seeing exactly what I want to get out of the live view in the back of the camera before I take a shot. And number 3, well, if I have a camera system, say for example, a Sony or another mirrorless system that is just great at focusing all around, it's the same through the viewfinder, it's the same through live view, I really prefer the viewfinder because it's going to be easier and better to get the right compositions, especially when working at speed. Hope this was helpful. If it was, I'd love for you guys to like the video, subscribe to the Adorama TV channel, comment below, let us know what you guys would like to see next. This actually came from the comments. So we made this video because we kept getting that same question of why do you use live view? How do we get sharp images when shooting wide open on primes? And hopefully this answers that for you and give you some tips along the way. In the meanwhile, be sure to check out slrloungeworkshops.com for more of the best photography education, A to Z workshops on literally every subject. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.